What's going on, guys? This is Bruce Matson, your host of the show, and I got a good one for today. Today, I'm going to be doing my comparison video. You know that series I've been dropping where I compare a college prospect to one of the active players in the NFL, go over some of the similarities, some of their differences, to paint you a portrait of what this player could potentially look like when they start taking snaps at the NFL level. I find this very important because a lot of analysts will drop comparison takes of players and they don't go very much in depth. So what I've been trying to do is find a player and find who he's been compared to and just kind of give you how that player is comparable and how they're not, and whether it should be taken seriously or not. Usually they shouldn't be. What I find with comparisons is they're more of a gauge, they're more of a portrait of what this player can do on the field and not an actual one-for-one scenario. So whenever you see a comparison in an article, video, or whatever of a draft prospect, just think like this should not be a finite measure. Like you should just compare traits with the two players and see how they're kind of like. Not two players are the same in that standpoint. Football players are kind of like snowflakes. They do have their differences, and most of them, almost all of them, are different from one another. And especially if you're going in deep detail, you're going to find differences in almost every player. But today I'm going to be covering Zach Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. I find these two players being compared a lot, mainly because they're similar in size, a little different. Like Mahomes is a little thicker, Wilson's a shade taller, but they're close enough. And then what makes them very comparable, and what I think what the scouts or analysts are seeing when they see them on tape that really marks that box of them being comparable players is, one, their arm strength. They're both very mobile and they can just chuck the ball while on the run, and I'm talking 50, 60, 70 yards with no problems. And then those balls are going deep downfield and they're accurate too. And then also Wilson and Mahomes can throw from different arm angles, from different trajectories, and it can be different from play to play and depending on the scenario. So one play, you can see Wilson throw normal up top, and then the next play, he could be on the run, he could be working through some trash and just dish it through the side. And then it could be submarine, it could be, it doesn't matter. And same thing with Mahomes. Mahomes is a little flashier because, you know, he's done a lot of those no-look passes, but both of them are very good at switching up their angles when throwing the ball. They're also very mobile. I'm not talking Lamar Jackson mobile. I'm not talking Michael Vick mobile. I'm talking being able to be fluid in the pocket, being able to pick up extra yards. The way they are vastly different is Mahomes has elite level or maybe nuclear anticipation for his wide receivers, like anticipating where they're going to be at within a couple milliseconds, seconds, or whatever, where Wilson's still developing in that standpoint. For a draft prospect, he's decent to good or really good, but he does have his hiccups here and there. And Mahomes is a lot better throwing with bad footwork. Like he can make up for that, where Wilson, if his feet aren't lined up or his feet are out of tune or his drop back's not right, things can go very hairy. Wilson makes a lot of bad decisions, and Wilson could not look near or anything close to Mahomes once he starts playing at the NFL level, because he really hasn't seen many exotic looks when playing against the defenses. Things haven't been super vanillas. I'm not trying to say that, but he's not seeing coverages drop back from like a cover one and then switching over instantly to a cover two and stuff like that. It's been pretty base, but over time in his development, Wilson could be a franchise quarterback. He has the tools. He has the ability to be so. He's right now, I consider him a high-end developmental player where he's just got to fix a few things to be a good or comparable NFL quarterback. The thing about being compared to Patrick Mahomes is really not fair, because I don't think anybody can really be compared to him. That he's an elite level passer And I'm not talking to or about quarterbacks in this era. I'm talking about all time. And I think that's a not fair comparison. I don't think it's a fair comparison, too, for the consumer trying to analyze the draft content being put out, because the Mahomes comparison is almost creme de la creme, where it's about as good as you can get. And it's not like Zach Wilson's flawless. If he was flawless and he was comparable and he had all those traits, but he played maybe at a Power 5 school and he was almost bulletproof, kind of like Trevor Lawrence. If he was Trevor Lawrence but looked like Patrick Mahomes, then I could say that's a good comparison. But it's not. He's not on Trevor Lawrence level, and then it's going to be a minute for Trevor Lawrence to be up to Patrick Mahomes level if it happens. So that's where I'm at here. I find the comparison that people are making off the mark a bit, because it's hard to compare a draft prospect to someone of that prestige. However, when it comes to basic attributes, I'm talking about the basic stuff. The way he looks when he throws the ball, the way he changes arm levels, his arm strength, mobility in the pocket, and just his overall moxie and everything. It does look like Mahomes, but I wouldn't compare him one for one. Not even close. I would not make that comparison. I feel like if I was writing some content for people to consume, I would stay away from that, because I would not want my readers, my audience, to be misinformed, thinking that this is the next Patrick Mahomes. I expect people to be smarter than that, but I don't want to be lying or giving pseudo information when it's not correct either. These guys are vastly different. There's just a few things that look alike, but they're not the same at all. Well, that's my analysis for this. Thank you for watching the show. If you liked what you heard, or if you're interested in the NFL draft, Dynasty Fantasy Football, or if you're getting ready for some rookie drafts, come this spring, this summer, I'm your guy. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, tell your friends. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.